Have you ever paused to wonder what your body is quietly trying to tell you after the age of 70? Every passing year feels more meaningful, and sometimes the most important signals don't come from a doctor's report, but from the way you feel, move, and live every day. Some seniors continue to thrive, clear-headed, full of purpose, and energized by daily life. Others begin to slow down not just physically, but in spirit and strength. What causes that split? The answer lies in a few key signs, gentle indicators that often go unnoticed until they're too obvious to ignore. In this video, you'll discover 7 powerful signs that may reveal how long you could live after turning 70. These aren't just guesses, they're rooted in patterns doctors and researchers have observed in people who live longer, fuller lives by the time we reach the final sign. Let's watch until the end. You definitely won't regret seeing this extremely useful information. Let's get started with part 1. What your body is whispering. Why you should listen now. Somewhere between the moment you hold your first grandchild and the day you need help tying your shoes again, you begin to realize something deeply honest. Your body has been speaking to you all along, not with loud declarations or urgent alarms, but with subtle whispers. And the older you get, the more sacred those whispers become. They're not just aches or forgetful moments. They're stories, messages, warnings, invitations. Have you ever paused, maybe in the quiet of a late afternoon or while folding laundry, and found yourself asking, how long will I be able to do this on my own? Is this just old age or is something wrong? Am I fading or evolving? You wouldn't be alone. In fact, most seniors in their 70s and beyond wrestle with this quiet curiosity. And it's not always fear-based. It's about wanting to know where you stand and what comes next. Because after decades of showing up for others, of pushing through, of putting your own needs aside for the sake of duty, family, work, now is the time to ask, what is my body trying to tell me about the future? Doctors can offer test results, scans, charts, pills, but sometimes the most meaningful answers come from what you notice when no one else is watching, like the way your legs feel heavier when you climb the stairs, the way you hesitate before stepping onto an unfamiliar curb, the way your grip falters on a jar lid you once opened without effort, the way you wake up 3 times a night and tell yourself, that's just how it is now, the way you cancel lunch plans, not because you're busy, but because you're just too tired. These aren't coincidences. They're signals. And if you're paying attention, they can reveal more about your longevity than any single checkup. Not just how long you might live, but how well you'll live. And a lot of the questions. No one taught us to ask. We grow up learning how to chase success, raise families, manage stress, but we're rarely taught how to ask the softer, deeper questions that matter after 70, such as, is my energy a reflection of health or of habits that need changing? Do I feel steady in my body, or am I quietly bracing for a fall? Am I enjoying these years, or just surviving them? These aren't dramatic questions. They're human ones, and they deserve honest answers. The beauty is, your body is answering already. You just have to know where to look. Here's the most important thing we want you to take from this video. The signs you're about to learn about are not verdicts, they're opportunities. You're not too late. You're not too far gone. You're not stuck with how it is now. In fact, research has shown that many of the key indicators of longevity, balance, grip strength, walking pace, sleep, and social connection, can be improved well into your 70s, 80s, even 90s. That means that noticing a sign isn't a cause for panic. It's a cause for action, a call to return to yourself, a chance to write the next chapter with intention and grace, and what this video will show you. In the sections ahead, we're going to walk you through 7 evidence-based signs that, according to experts in long-term studies, give powerful insight into how long you may live after 70. Each sign will be paired with a real-life story. People like you, seniors who noticed the signals and chose to listen, to respond, to change. This isn't about judgment, it's about curiosity, courage, compassion. Some of these signs may be things you felt but didn't know how to name. Some may feel familiar, comforting even, and one perhaps might shine a light on something you've quietly been avoiding. That's okay. We're here together. And if you stay with us until the end, you'll walk away with a better understanding of what your body's asking for and how to give it. Because you still have more life to live. And your body, it's not your enemy, it's your partner, whispering to you every day, waiting to be heard. Part 2, the first 3 signs: movement, strength, and stability. Let's begin with the most visible of all signs, not found in your lab reports or medication lists, but in the way you move through the world. Sign 1, the energy in your step. You've probably heard it before. You can tell a lot about a person by the way they walk. Turns out science agrees. Studies from institutions like the Mayo Clinic and the National Institute on Aging have shown a clear connection between walking speed and longevity. The faster, steadier, and more confident your stride is after 70, the more likely you are to live longer, avoid injury, and maintain cognitive sharpness. But let's make this real. Meet Harold and Bill, age 74. Harold walks every morning to the local bakery for a cup of coffee. He doesn't rush, but his pace is sure. His shoulders are back. His legs move in rhythm with his breath. Bill, his longtime friend, used to join him. But lately, Bill has slowed. He often pauses mid-block to rest. Curbs make him nervous. Stairs feel daunting. He stopped going out unless someone drives him. The difference isn't in their age, it's in their habits. Harold stayed moving, even on days he didn't want to, even in winter. Bill, like many, slowly gave in to the idea that slowing down is just part of aging. But science says the opposite. Slowing down can cause the decline. Because walking isn't just about your legs, it's a signal of total body health. Your muscles must support you. Your circulation must flow. Your brain must coordinate each step. Your lungs and heart must respond with oxygen and rhythm. And when you stop walking, your systems hear that too. We're done, they think, and slowly they follow. So what can you do? You don't need to start running laps. Just walk a little more than you did yesterday. Start with a walk to your mailbox. Next week, circle the block. Set a daily timer for movement. Walk inside a shopping mall or down a hallway if weather's bad. Because each step is not just movement, it's a message to your body. We're still in this. Let's keep going. Sign 2, the strength in your hands. You've likely used your hands every day of your life. To cook, to clean, to hold loved ones, to write cards, to open letters. But have you ever thought about what your grip strength says about your future? A 2015 study published in The Lancet, one of the world's top medical journals, found that lower grip strength was more predictive of death from any cause than blood pressure. Yes, you read that right. Your handshake may say more about your longevity than your heart rate. Let's talk about Rita. Rita, 79, lives in a small town. Last year, she struggled to open a jar of peanut butter. It felt like my hands weren't mine anymore, she told her daughter. She began to dread even simple tasks, turning a doorknob, tying a bag, lifting a pan. When she mentioned it at a checkup, her doctor explained something simple but profound. Your hands are a mirror. If you're losing strength here, your arms and legs might be next. That scared Rita, but it also motivated her. She bought a soft rubber ball, began squeezing it every morning during the news. She added 2-pound dumbbells to her evening walks, started kneading dough again just for practice. Today, she's stronger, but more importantly, she feels capable again. So, what you can do for your hands: use a grip trainer or squeeze ball for just 5 minutes a day. 1. Twist jar, lids and caps with intention. 2. Hang a towel and wring it out fully each morning. 3. Use hand therapy putty, cheap and easy to find online. Because the hands that open jars today are the hands that keep you independent tomorrow. Sign 3. Your ability to stay upright. Let me ask you something. Right now, yes, even seated, can you lift 1 foot slightly off the floor and hold it? Try it. Count to 10. Did you wobble? Did you grab the table? That test you just did? It's one of the most widely used assessments of longevity and health in people over 70. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that seniors who couldn't balance on one leg for 10 seconds were twice as likely to die within the next 10 years. Come with us, Margaret's story. Margaret, 76, was once a yoga teacher, but after her husband passed, she stopped. "What's the point?" she said, until one day she nearly fell stepping out of the shower. "That shook me more than I expected," she said. She realized she'd stopped trusting her body, so she returned, slowly, to the practices she loved. 1 foot balance while brushing her teeth. Gentle heel to toe walking down her hallway. Basic Tai Chi in the living room with a YouTube video. 1 year later, "I stand taller now," she says, "not just in my body, but in my life." So, why balance is more than just legs? To stay upright, your body calls on your inner ears for equilibrium, your eyes to orient you, your brain to respond to shifts, your muscles to react quickly. Losing balance isn't just a nuisance, it's a signal. And when you practice balance, even 5 minutes a day, you don't just reduce your risk of falls. Part 3. Signs that reflect your inner world. Rest, nutrition, and calm. Sign 4. Your sleep patterns. When the night speaks louder than the day. Sleep used to be simple, didn't it? You laid your head down, closed your eyes, and morning arrived without interruption. But something changes after 70. You may wake more often. You may toss, turn, and wonder why your thoughts won't settle. You may lie there, eyes open in the dark, feeling a loneliness deeper than words. But here's what few people will tell you. Your sleep is not just rest, it's restoration. Each night while you dream, your brain clears out toxins, your immune system repairs damage, your heart rate slows, giving your cardiovascular system a break. Your memory strengthens. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it can affect everything. Mood, blood pressure, appetite, balance, focus, even your risk of dementia. Meet Joseph and Ernestine, both 72. Joseph is a night owl. He watches TV until the early hours, sometimes dozing off in his recliner. He wakes up groggy, aches in his back, his thoughts cloudy. His energy is low until noon, and even then, it's not what it used to be. Ernestine is different. She goes to bed by 9:30 every night. An hour before, she turns off electronics, dims the lights, drinks chamomile tea, and spends 5 minutes in silence. She calls it closing the day with grace. She doesn't always sleep perfectly, but she sleeps purposefully. And the result? She wakes refreshed, clear-headed, ready to move, to laugh, to live. The difference between them isn't age, it's intention. So, what can you do? Sleep struggles after 70 are common, but they're not destiny. Don't worry, because I will give you what science recommends. 1. Morning sunlight. Exposure to natural light helps reset your body clock. 2. Consistent bed and wake times, even on weekends. 3. Wind-down rituals, reading, prayer, stretching, or light music. 4. Limit screens. The blue light from TVs and phones confuses your brain. 5. Cut caffeine and alcohol in the evening. If racing thoughts keep you awake, try this tip. Write down 1 worry and 1 gratitude before bed. Let your mind rest as your body does, because how you sleep each night can quietly predict how you'll live each day. Sign 5. The nourishment you give yourself. What's on your plate speaks to your future. Food is personal. It carries stories, memories, culture, and comfort. But after 70, it also becomes something else entirely, a lifeline. Your body needs nourishment more than ever, not just for strength, but for healing, cognition, mobility, and mood. But here's the challenge. Many seniors unintentionally slip into nutritional decline. Why? Appetite fades. Cooking feels like a chore. Meals become rushed, skipped, or replaced with snacks. Medications affect taste and digestion. Eating alone makes meals feel more like reminders of loss than moments of joy. Meet Clara and June, both 75. Clara plans her meals like love letters to herself. She shops twice a week. She makes warm soups, roasts vegetables, and enjoys color on her plate, greens, oranges, reds. Even though she eats alone, she sets the table, lights a candle, and says grace. It reminds me, she says, that I still matter. June, on the other hand, rarely eats more than toast or crackers. She forgets to eat. She says cooking for one feels hollow. She's lost weight, not intentionally, and feels tired even after sleeping. June is not broken, but she is missing the nutrients that support her life. After 70, food isn't just fuel, it's medicine, memory, maintenance. Protein maintains your muscle. Omega-3s keep your brain sharp. Fiber supports digestion. Healthy fats reduce inflammation. Hydration keeps everything moving. And if you notice, 1. Weight loss without trying. 2. Feeling full too quickly. 3. Low interest in food. 4. More bruising or slow healing. 5. Frequent infections. It may be time to revisit your relationship with nourishment. So, what can you do? Let's add protein to breakfast. Eggs, Greek yogurt, nut butter. Blend smoothies with fruit and seeds. Eat with others when possible. Join a church group, senior center, or share a meal weekly with a neighbor. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if medications are affecting your appetite. Cook in batches, freeze portions for easy meals. Keep a food journal for a week. See what's missing, not just in calories, but in care. Because how you nourish yourself today builds the body you'll live in tomorrow. And you deserve to live in a body that's fueled, not fading. Part 4. The final 2 signs, stress and social connection. Now let's shift from the physical to the emotional. Because longevity is not only shaped by movement and meals, but by what happens quietly in the heart and mind. Sign 6. Your response to stress, the silent burden. You can release. Stress doesn't always look like panic or tears. Sometimes it shows up as tension in your neck that never leaves, clenching your jaw in your sleep, a short fuse with the people you love most, tightness in your chest when the phone rings, that exhausted feeling even after doing nothing at all. And here's what matters. Chronic stress doesn't just affect your mood, it affects your mortality. It raises blood pressure, disrupts sleep, triggers inflammation, weakens your immune system, and over time, it accelerates aging at the cellular level. Meet Frank and Melvin, age 78. Frank wakes each morning and writes one sentence in his journal. What is true today that I can be grateful for? He sits on his porch, feeds the birds, and tends a tiny patch of garden. When he's frustrated, he walks. When he's scared, he prays. When he's tired, he rests. Melvin? He watches the news for hours, yells at the screen, replays old arguments in his head, dreads doctor appointments, resents needing help, and he aches, inside and out. The difference? Not their circumstances, but how they carry them. So, what can you do? You don't need to become a guru. You just need to give yourself permission to breathe. Here are some gentle ways to reduce stress. Deep breathing. Try the 4-4-4-4 method. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4. Nature breaks. Step outside for 10 minutes each day. Limit negative input. Watch less news. Engage with things that uplift you. Connect spiritually. Read scripture. Meditate. Journal. Move your body. Stretch. Dance in your kitchen. Walk slowly. Speak up. Don't carry everything alone. Call someone, even if just to say hello. Because peace isn't just a nice idea. It's a biological tool for longevity. Sign 7. The people who surround you. The love that keeps you alive. Perhaps the most overlooked but most powerful predictor of life after 70? Connection. We are not meant to age in silence. We are not designed to thrive in isolation. And yet so many older adults find themselves surrounded by things, but not by people. The children are busy. The friends have moved or passed. The phone doesn't ring like it used to. But here's the truth. Loneliness is not just sad, it's dangerous. It's been shown to increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, depression, dementia, and even early death. But the good news? It's reversible at any age. Meet Nora, age 84. When Nora lost her husband, the silence in her house grew loud. She didn't want to burden her kids. She stopped attending Sunday service. She ate her meals while watching the clock. One day, her granddaughter found a flyer for Senior Pen Pals, a letter exchange for widowed elders. Nora hesitated, but she signed up. Now, she gets a letter every week. She writes back. On Tuesdays, she calls Linda, her pen pal turned friend. I haven't felt this alive in years, Nora says. Sometimes one voice is all you need to feel like yourself again. So, what can you do? You don't need a crowd. You need a connection. Try calling one friend a week, writing a letter to someone you miss, attending a local group, knitting, walking, faith-based, volunteering, even just 1 hour a month, reaching out to a neighbor, inviting someone for coffee or soup. Because love isn't just found in family, it's built in daily choices to reach and be reached. So how are you feeling? Did something stir in you? Was there a moment that mirrored your own life? Remember, nothing we've talked about today is fixed in stone. Sleep can improve, nourishment can return, stress can dissolve, connection can be rebuilt. You are not too late. Your story is still being written. Part 5, Closing Reflections. The power to begin again. Let's pause for a moment together. Take a breath. Let it fill your lungs like morning air after a long winter. Let it reach your shoulders, your chest, your belly. Now, exhale. Let go of any guilt you've carried for what you haven't done. Let go of the idea that it's too late. Let go of the belief that nothing can change. Because the truth is simple. You're still here. And that means your story is still unfolding. And you know the signs now. You've walked through them with us. How you move, how you grip, how you balance, how you sleep, how you eat, how you manage stress, how you connect with others. These 7 signs aren't random. They aren't checklists to be judged against. They are invitations. Each one is a gentle knock on the door of your awareness. Not to shame you, not to rush you, but to wake you to the possibility that life isn't done with you yet. In fact, it might just be beginning in a whole new way. Real people, real possibility. You've heard the stories of Clara, who lights a candle to honor herself at dinner, of Ernestine, who winds down her day with tea and intention, of Nora, whose world reopened with a letter and a phone call, of Margaret, who relearned to trust her own 2 feet. These aren't extraordinary people. They are ordinary people who made an extraordinary decision to listen to what their bodies were whispering and to respond with courage and care. So let me ask you now, with deep kindness, which sign felt like it was written for you? Which one tugged at your heart a little harder? Was it the weight you've lost unintentionally? The jars that now feel too tight to open? The chair you used to steady yourself in the shower? Was it the silence at dinner? The restless nights? The shrinking circle of conversation? Whatever it was, know this. That whisper you heard wasn't weakness. It was wisdom. We live in a world that worships youth. But here's what they don't tell you. Youth fades, but meaning grows deeper. Every scar you carry, it means you healed. Every wrinkle on your face, it means you smiled or cried or squinted in the sunlight. Every slower step, it means you've walked a long, honorable road. You don't need to go back to who you were. You need to step fully into who you're becoming. And becoming doesn't stop at 30 or 50 or 70. It only stops when we stop listening, when we stop learning, when we stop loving this moment we're in. But you haven't stopped. You're here, reading this, reflecting, wondering. That means something. That means you still care. Change isn't about overhauling. It's about honoring. You don't need to change everything tomorrow. You don't need to fix all 7 signs in a week. Start with 1. 1 walk around the block. 1 nourishing breakfast. 1 deep breath before you react to stress. 1 letter to an old friend. 1 moment of standing on 1 leg. Because change doesn't come from ambition, it comes from attention. When you pay attention to your own life, you begin to feed it again. What comes after awareness? Something beautiful. When you notice the signs and choose to respond, not with fear, but with intention. You don't just extend your life, you expand it. You reclaim moments. The confidence to walk unassisted through your home, the laughter shared with someone you almost lost touch with, the energy to cook your favorite soup again, the joy of feeling present, sharp, connected, and calm. And perhaps even more than that, you model something powerful for others. When your children or grandchildren see you choose life in your 70s, 80s, or 90s, they learn that aging isn't a slow decline. It's a deepening of strength, a quiet kind of courage, and now, a letter to your future self. If you could write a letter to yourself 10 years from now, what would it say? Would it say, "I wish I had walked more. I wish I had spoken up when I needed company. I wish I hadn't waited for things to get worse before I asked for help"? Or would it say, "I'm proud of what I did. I listened. I began again. I made my life lighter, not just longer"? Right now, you are writing that letter with every choice you make. Let's make it a letter filled with gentleness and grace. Final conclusion: the quiet power of listening to your life. We began this journey by asking a question. What is your body trying to tell you? And now perhaps you've heard it whisper a little louder. Maybe it said, "I'm tired. I'm lonely. I miss feeling strong. I want to be seen again. I'm still here. I still matter." And you do. You matter more than you know. You have made it through storms others didn't survive. You've witnessed love and loss, peace and pain. You have wisdom in your bones. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Dear Senior's Life, because this space is for you, for your questions, your stories, your reflections, your strength. We don't promise perfect solutions, but we do promise you will be heard, you will be respected, and you will never walk this path alone. Before we say goodbye, take another breath. Place a hand over your heart. Feel it? That's life. Still pulsing, still powerful, still yours to shape. You've made it this far. You're not done. In fact, you may be just stepping into your most meaningful chapter yet. So get up, walk a little, eat something nourishing, call a friend, laugh, stand tall. Trust the signs your body's giving you. They're not reminders of decline. They're echoes of life. Still unfolding, still inviting, still waiting to be lived. We're rooting for you. With all our heart, Dear Senior's Life.